America's most inbred family. The Whittaker family, often referred to as America's most inbred family, has gained attention due to their history of inbreeding, which has resulted in a range of significant physical and mental health challenges. Residing in rural West Virginia, the Whittakers have become a unique case in the study of genetics and the long-term effects of consanguinity. Their story has been widely documented to shed light on the consequences of continuous familial intermarriage, as well as the socioeconomic conditions that contribute to such situations. The origins of the Whittaker family's inbreeding trace back several generations, with records suggesting that their ancestors lived in isolated, rural areas where social and economic barriers limited their interactions with the broader population. In many cases, marriages and unions took place within a limited gene pool, leading to increased occurrences of recessive genetic traits. Over the years, the family's geographic and social isolation perpetuated these relationships, further narrowing the genetic diversity within the bloodline. Reports indicate that the Whittakers have been living in the same region for centuries, forming a small insular community where interfamily relationships were not only common but often seen as a necessity due to their remote location. Economic struggles and lack of education contributed to the perpetuation of these unions, as few members of the family had the means to leave their hometown or seek partners outside their close-knit environment. Generations of cousin marriages and sibling pairings have solidified a lineage marked by severe genetic impairments. Inbreeding occurs when close relatives reproduce, increasing the likelihood of recessive genetic disorders. Within the Whittaker family, these effects have been profound. Many members exhibit severe cognitive impairments, speech difficulties, and distinct physical deformities. The family's genetic pool has been significantly narrowed over generations, leading to neurological disorders, developmental delays, and other hereditary health problems. Physically, some members of the Whittaker family display unusual facial features, including misaligned eyes, underdeveloped facial structures, and other congenital abnormalities. Mentally, inbreeding has led to cognitive disabilities that make communication and daily functioning challenging for several individuals in the family. Behavioral abnormalities have also been observed, which may be linked to the genetic repercussions of continuous intermarriage within the same bloodline. The severity of these conditions varies among family members, with some being able to function independently while others require constant assistance in their daily lives. In addition to the genetic disorders, there is also a significant impact on mental health. Many inbred individuals are more susceptible to conditions such as depression, schizophrenia, and other psychological disorders. These issues are compounded by the family's isolation and lack of access to mental health services, further exacerbating their struggles. The Whittakers have suffered from not only the physiological consequences of their lineage, but also deep emotional and psychological trauma passed down through generations. The Whittaker family lives in extreme poverty, which has further exacerbated their hardships. Limited access to education, healthcare, and social services has only intensified their struggles. Living in isolation within their rural community, they have had minimal interaction with outsiders, which has contributed to the continuation of inbreeding practices over generations. The family's story came into the public eye through documentary work by filmmakers and photographers, who documented their conditions in an attempt to raise awareness about the consequences of extreme genetic homogeneity. Their living conditions are also a major factor in their struggles. The family resides in a small, deteriorating home with limited access to basic necessities such as clean water, proper nutrition, and medical care. Due to their physical and mental impairments, some members are unable to maintain employment, making financial stability a significant challenge. The lack of outside intervention and community support has left the family in a perpetual cycle of poverty and hardship. The Whittaker's case is not just a curiosity but serves as a critical study in genetic science and sociology. It highlights the dangers of inbreeding and the importance of genetic diversity in maintaining healthy populations. Beyond genetics, their situation underscores the impact of socioeconomic factors in sustaining cycles of familial isolation and intermarriage. Historically, small closed communities have been more susceptible to inbreeding due to a lack of available partners outside the family unit. While laws and societal norms have largely discouraged close relative reproduction, cases like that of the Whittaker family reveal that it still occurs in extreme isolation. Scientists studying the genetic impact of inbreeding have used cases like the Whittakers to further understand the risks and long-term consequences of such genetic practices. Research indicates that inbreeding depression, where recessive traits and genetic disorders become more pronounced over generations, plays a significant role in the Whittakers' health challenges. Additionally, social stigma plays a role in their continued isolation. Many individuals in similar situations face ridicule and discrimination, further discouraging them from seeking external help. This lack of social integration and access to resources perpetuates the cycle of inbreeding and poverty. Furthermore, intergenerational trauma within such families is rarely addressed due to inadequate mental health care and social services in impoverished regions. The Whittaker family's exposure through media and documentaries has led to increased awareness and calls for social intervention. While some members of the family have received donations and aid from compassionate individuals and organizations, significant structural change is necessary to break the cycle of inbreeding, poverty, and social isolation. Efforts have been made to provide medical care and assistance to the family, but long-term solutions require systemic intervention. Educational programs on genetic health, access to mental health resources, and improved social integration are crucial steps toward preventing future occurrences of similar cases. Government agencies and social service organizations must take proactive steps to intervene in communities at risk of inbreeding. This includes providing education on genetics and reproductive health, as well as offering social support services that encourage integration with broader society. Additionally, improving healthcare access in rural and impoverished areas is critical in ensuring that families like the Whittakers receive necessary medical attention and genetic counseling. While the Whittakers remain an extreme case, their story highlights a broader issue affecting isolated and impoverished communities worldwide. Addressing these problems requires a collaborative effort among policymakers, healthcare providers, educators, and social workers to ensure that future generations do not suffer the same fate. The Whittaker family represents a tragic example of the effects of inbreeding, offering a stark look at how genetic and social isolation can contribute to long-term suffering. While their situation may seem shocking to outsiders, it should serve as an educational case on the importance of genetic diversity and the need for social support systems that can break cycles of inbreeding and poverty. Rather than sensationalizing their plight, it is crucial to approach their story with compassion and a focus on awareness, education, and assistance for communities in similar situations. Ultimately, the Whittakers case is a stark reminder of the interplay between genetics, poverty, and social isolation. Addressing these issues requires a multifaceted approach that combines scientific research, social policy, and humanitarian aid to ensure that future generations do not suffer the same fate. I hope you found the details of this story as fascinating and unsettling as I did. You, mysterious, curious, intellectual, disturbed, beautiful people. My name is Penny Flick, with Kreep-ish. I look forward to sharing more of these stories that captivate and intrigue our minds, which can challenge our way of thinking. Comment on your thoughts below as I continue to uncover the mysteries of our history, true crime, paranormal, conspiracy, and cringe-worthy, creepy content. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember that the truth is often stranger than fiction.